Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is the Master Teacher Serene. Today I'd like to talk about the Japanese work culture. Most of the time, 99% of the Japanese people hate working with foreigners. And I'm a foreigner. For the most part, they will never tell you that. If you go to China, they might tell you that they don't like you. Racism in China is kind of they will show it to you to your face. But in Japan, uh, there is something called tatemae or some kind of catfish identity, some sort of you have to pretend, So I'd like to talk about the thing that I hate the most about the Japanese work culture. So, first of all, I think there are so many things, but for the most part, the one that I hate the most is because in Japan, your personal life doesn't matter. They believe that work is everything. Work is, your life. Meanwhile, work for at a certain degree, if you like your job, it can become your work. But normally, work is your job, and it has nothing to do with your life. You can also have a life outside of your work environment and something like that. But in Japan, it's something that doesn't happen, and they go through a certain instance where they would make sure that you don't have a life after your job. So, for example, I work at the company here as an English teacher or something. At first, if you are starting your job, it's okay for you to kind of stay longer, work longer hours because they love it when they use you, when they make you do extra things for you to spend more hours. Normally, I'm some most jobs here you're supposed to work like 7 hours a day or something, kind of similar to that, around that 7 hours. But some people work more than 8 hours. Some people even more than that. And if, for example, for my contract, I'm supposed to leave around like 5 or something. But you might stay like up until 6, 5:30, depending. Even more, they would love it. You will not get any promotion or anything of a kind, but they might praise you for that. They're gonna say some stuff like you are hardworking. They love it, praise you, but they don't give you any bonus or any money on that. Unlike in China, if when they praise you, I love the Chinese mindset in terms of business here. They might praise you, but it's just gonna be words. It's not gonna be anything, because normally if you paid per hours, they're supposed to pay more money for every single second they use on you. Um, if you work with public schools, you will not get anything. If you work maybe some private schools, maybe they're kind of a little bit better because they're trying to turn more into sort of foreign. They're attracting. They are kind of opening much more to the foreign way of doing business. So you might get some bonus money if you work extra or something, or if they make you work extra. But most of the time, they will use you and not give you anything. And so just to continue, so the thing is like at first, if you got to learn the job and you got to spend more time to catch up, because here everything is kind of silent. They might not tell you that they don't like you, but you yourself should know, or you have to get better at this and that. So you might work extra hours to practice more and whatever they think it is. This is okay, but once you've mastered the game and you know what to do, your thing, you know your job, you know your assignment. At this point, whenever you finish your job, you can leave. But here in Japan, it's like most of the time you finish your classes around 3, and they would want you to stay there even if you have nothing to do. You've kind of closed up everything. They would want you to stay there up until your clock out time. At some point, they call it their culture, work culture. Meanwhile, it's pointless, really pointless. The point is, if you got something to do, you can prepare for your next lessons and stuff like that. But really, you don't really, you have done that all, because sometimes you might come in, there is no class at all. So you can do that, but you have to stay there up until your time is due. And what I hate the most is that some people, especially the other teachers that speak a little of English or kind of are close to you, they are the ones that are going to gossip if you leave early, or because in Japan you cannot leave early even if you have nothing to do, you cannot leave early. So they are the ones that are going to gossip or ask you questions. For example, the last time I finished all my work and stuff like that, so it was like 4:30. Meanwhile, I'm supposed to finish like at 5 or 4:45. So I kind of it was raining, and I live like an hour and a half from my workplace. And there are so many reasons why I would leave earlier, actually, because I finished all my work. I prepared for the next lesson for the next days, and so really I had nothing to do. But then she was following me, and because I remember by the time I stepped out, she came in and she was running behind me. She asked, "Oh, why are you leaving?" I'm like, "You are just a teacher. You're not a supervisor. Why are you asking me these kind of questions?" Meanwhile, the supervisor was there when I left. I said goodbye. So she went back and then she went and gossiped about me to the. I didn't say that to her this directly, but because in Japan you have to kind of mind your language and stuff. You cannot tell them the truth. You cannot be direct to them. So she went and gossiped about me and complained and stuff like that. So the supervisor, since they kind of have the same hive mentality, all of them, they might not be that close friends, but they all know the same things. They think the same way. Their logic is very strange. They kind of have the same kind of logic, the majority of them. So yeah, they went and lodged a complaint against me, and now they made it a big deal. So technically, in Japan, you are. It's good for them to use you on your time, but if you leave even 1 minute before your clock out time, it's something that is like an offense to the entire team, the entire workplace, because for them, they don't speak it out, but like they would think like you kind of acting as if you are privileged or something. Meanwhile, you are a foreigner, you are not a Japanese, you are not supposed to work as they work. Like, and it's kind of common sense, if your work is over and you've closed up with everything you had to do for the next day, if you have like 10 minutes you leave earlier or something, it's something normal. It's common sense, it's human. But here they don't think you are a human. They don't think you need time for your personal things. They think you gotta be there just sitting there watching them, and it's kind of weird. To finish up with, foreigners that are here, that have lived here for like 20 years, 30 years, some of them have become the managers. They are the ones that are making people's life even worse, because these people, they believe when they get power, they have to hurt others, they have to treat other people as if they are now some kind of because they know their lives depend, because some of us here have families, you have things to do, you got to work. You might not like your job, but you have to do the job. But they'll come and make it even worse for you. So I would like to tell you one day, karma is true. In China, I used to work with a bipolar manager. That useless man really had mental issues, but since he was the manager, it was very difficult. So what I'm seeing here in Japan is not that critical as what I saw in China. But here too in Japan, it's really happening. The people that will hurt you the most are those foreigners, the managers, whatever, that are working here, and those Japanese people that speak English, those that come to talk to you every day. They are the ones that will go and talk on your back and say some stupid things. So I'd like to tell you something again. Karma is true. If you see, one tree can make up a lot of, maybe millions of much sticks, but only one matchstick can burn the entire forest, can burn millions of trees. I'd like to tell you some more. At some point, um, if you are an ant, if you are an ant, right, a bird, for example, would eat ants when they are alive, but when they die, ants will eat them. So don't remember that. Don't overuse your power. Don't make other people's life at work difficult because you got a position or because you got a mouth to go and talk bullshit. Because at some point, you know, um, time is more powerful than you, and karma is a bitch. So let's try our best as foreigners or whoever you are, not to make other people's life more difficult. Everyone don't have to live like you.